Hello, welcome to the final word. 2, Bournemouth 3. Me and Jack are going to go through this one. It's for 85 minutes. I thought it was going to be a lovely final word show on Monday for Bournemouth fans who are watching. It certainly is. Jack, have you processed what happened at Goodison Park on Saturday yet?
If by process you mean sit here and still feel angry about it, then yeah, I very much have. No, it's embarrassing, isn't it? It's embarrassing, it's pathetic. It honestly would have been better if we'd just been beat 3-0 and they'd played us off the park. Because for 85 minutes we've shown that we can play as a good team, we can play football to a decent standard and we can attack and control the game. And they threw it all out the window as soon as they came under a little bit of pressure for the first time in the game. It is classic Everton, and it is so embarrassing that I sit here as a fan of one of the biggest clubs in this country, one of the most successful clubs in this country, and everyone knows what I mean when I say classic Everton, and it's not positive.
Thanks for watching. Oh dear me, it is embarrassing the way we just shot ourselves in the foot. Being, it was so easy, the game, for most of it. It's, one of the easiest games you will play since we played Bournemouth last year at Goodison. Very similar game, dominated it, should have scored a lot more. And it was heading that way. I think the only difference is last year we got a third goal to kill it off, and this year we didn't, but it still should have been enough. There was no suggestion anywhere that they were even going to have a shot on target, let alone a goal, and we threw it away. The manager went with Ndiaye and Ndiaye starting the game for the first time after his impressive performance and goal against Doncaster Rovers. Dominic Calvert-Lewin was still in the side, still here after the transfer window slammed shut, so he was in the side. And you look at it and go, James Coleman back in as well. And it was like, okay, he's got Ndiaye and we're going to be on the front foot. Dwight McNeil was in that number 10 role. And Everton started the game really well. Got Bournemouth on the back foot. There was a good energy about them. And went after them, which is exactly what Everton should be doing every single home game at Goodison Park. None of this sitting back and flapping at the opposition. We took the game to them, and it really unsettled Bournemouth, and they struggled to cope with it, really.
Yeah, it did, and I actually think in the first half we weren't necessarily flying at them. We weren't making loads and loads of chances, but we were the aggressor. We had chances compared to they didn't have a shot on target in the first half, and we were having the better of it, and the game seemed in our control. And okay, at periods this season, and at periods under this manager, we've had control of games, and you've had that sneaky feeling that, okay, we're not going to score here, and then they're going to get one and it's going to follow that pattern. But like you say, there was a good energy around the match, half an hour in, and Ndiaye's doing his thing and he's being positive on the ball, and not only is he playing well in himself, but it's an upgrade onto Corey in that role because he's so much more comfortable on the ball and he's progressing it up the pitch, and we look like a functional football team that's aware it's playing in the year 2024, not back in the Stone Ages. And that isn't always a constant with this team. And I think a big part of that was down to Ndiaye. And, I would have loved to be able to come in here today and go, oh, yeah, Ndiaye carried us to this win. He had a great game. But I think we let him down, really, didn't we, once we took him off?
Yeah, I think, like you were saying there, we had a real element of control in the first half. It wasn't like amazing football. We weren't forcing Kepa into loads and loads of saves. But we were the aggressor. We were the team that was on the front foot. We did have a measure of them. They didn't have anything. I mean, I know Evan Nielsen will probably improve, but on Saturday when I was watching, I was thinking, is that what £40 million buys you now? Not very much movement from them. Didn't link the play particularly well. Couldn't keep the ball for them. And it was comfortable. It was very comfortable. And I'll be honest, for most of the game, I thought Bournemouth will struggle this season. Without Solanke, they could be a team. I've got to watch themselves. They'd be good at home because strong at home because of the tightness of it. But they just looked a little bit light until the end. From our perspective, it was just get that first goal and the floodgates will open, and again, Ndiaye picking the ball up, coming in off the flank a little bit, going past players, linking it up. He was a real threat. You know, he had a chance off a corner, which I thought he probably should have scored. The ball dropped down to him and he got a shot away, but straight at Kepa. Either side of Kepa, I think he scores. You know, we'd had a couple of ones that had fizzed over, things going across the box. It was just, you know, a lot of front foot stuff.
Well, he was the centrepiece of the attack, weren't he? And it actually made Harrison and McNeil play a lot better. Because they had a player who was more advanced than them that they can link with. And because he's on the left, but he's coming inside a lot more, it gives the other two license to roam as well. And it gives us a fluidity in attack that we've not had with him out of the team.
Definitely, and someone who's going to take the, you know, was interesting to see a wide play run towards the goal, which is what he did. A lot of times he put them onto the back foot, and every time he got it, they were a bit nervous, and it just helped us move the ball around. I thought Bournemouth was fantastic again in that midfield until he was knackered near the end. But it was all very positive in the first 45 minutes. It was just lacking that little bit of care. Than the goal, of course, as well. We went in at half time, 0-0. It was a bit of a, all right, we're in control. We just need to get the first goal, and you know, they came out on the front foot at the start of the second half as well. And you wondered whether Bournemouth would tinker with anything because they were having a tough time getting up the pitch. But it just was more of the same in the second half. Only Everton were actually a bit more aggressive in the second half, cut through them a little bit more, and we did get the goal. We got a, you know, corner that eventually come back to Tarkowski, come back, they worked it out, Jack Harrison put a ball in, Calvert-Lewin knocks it down, and you wouldn't want it to fall to anybody else in that position other than Michael Keane, who in that box, the opposing penalty area, is very clinical.
No, well, it fell at the feet of the best finisher on the pitch, didn't it? Who just happens to be a centre half. And say what you want about his defence, and I certainly have, but he's a brilliant finisher. You can't take that away from him. And I thought Dom lays it off to him well. He sets him up well, and Keane does well, not only with the finish, but to set himself up for the shot. Because he is at a difficult angle, but he manages to wrap it round the keeper. And we've got the goal, and you're thinking, right, we're in now, because we've been all over these. We've just got the finish. Keane does that well for himself. It's fair play to him, because he took some stick, deservedly so, but, you know, he's took it, and he's came in. He's not done anything wrong in this game, and he's gave us the lead.
Yeah, and that was what it was all about, really, for me. It was, now can we build on it? It was a good goal, made up for Michael Keane, because, like you say, he has had a tough time. But it's good, you know, he is good in that penalty area, and it was a good finish, and it was like, right, okay, build on it now. Let's get this, you know, let's get this game put to bed, and our season's really began. Follow it up, and we, you know, we had a chance to make it 2-0. Seamus Coleman rolled back the years, went on a slalom run, and had both corners gaping, and he hit it at the goalkeeper.
He had to do better with that one.
Yeah, it was really, the finish is like, he just looked knackered on the finish of his run, but it was a great little run. But we didn't have to wait long, and it was 2-0. And again, another good goal. The ball worked out there. Bournemouth done fantastically well, strong and powerful. Knocks it off, and Ndiaye gets a little nutmeg on the edge of the box. Dwight McNeil fed Calvert-Lewin, and Dom finished very un-Dominic Calvert-Lewin like in that aspect. A lot of times he hits the goalkeeper there, but he's done it brilliantly. This lovely little dink over the goalkeeper. We want to see more of that from him, that composed finish. And he had a really good game, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Like you say, set the first one up. That was a great little finish for 2-0, and it was like, this is it. This is the day we start, brush the cobwebs off, let's go. We should be like this at Goodison Park, front foot, getting at teams, forcing them back. Everything we should have done against Brighton. Everything, because we'd have beaten Brighton that day, or certainly we'd have got in front against Brighton if we'd have played like that. And it was all going really well at that stage, 2-0 up and in absolute control of the game.
Yeah, well, we were showing aggression, weren't we? And, you know, I always say about defensive football, you can build your football and philosophy on, you know, defensive basics and first and foremost, that's fine, but you need aggression going forward, especially at a ground like Goodison. That's the football we respond to as fans, you know, that pressing, that aggression, and it came from Bournemouth actually muscling his way through, winning the ball back and just muscling his way through, showing, no, actually I'm going towards your box and you're not stopping me. He finds Ndiaye, who does brilliantly, and then, yeah, Dom, great finish, composed, calm, 2-0. Think, right, happy days, nice comfortable win, 2-0. And sure, a lot of people probably just tuned out there and then woke up the next morning to see the scoreline and probably thought, what the hell happens?
It was weird because it become, and Ndiaye went on a lovely little run after that and rolled it into the keeper's arms. He should have done better. Then he had another run and fired it over the bar, and McNeil had a shot that got blocked. And it was all of these moments. Tarkowski had a free header at the far post and headed it wide. It was those things, and people were just like, oh, well, you know, it's another chance gone. We'll get another one in a minute. We should know with Everton that it is never that simple, and the worry is what happens. But we were so far ahead. They couldn't live with it. Lewis Cook had an absolute nightmare of a game. You know, couldn't get near anybody in midfield. It was so easy, the centre of the park. But there is that fear when you're missing opportunities that I hope we don't come back and, you know, reflect on this and think we've had enough chances to kill this game off. They put a stat on the scoreboard with about 15 minutes to go, and it was like, I was surprised it was actually 50-50 the possession, which I couldn't believe, because it just felt like we had the ball all the time.
But we were doing so much more with it, and that's what counts, isn't it?
They hadn't had a shot on target. Everton had 6 on target. Everton's shots at that stage when they put it up was like 14 shots to 7 or something. We were just so far ahead in every department, bar the 50-50%, which is huge for Everton, 50% of the ball. But the players were starting to tire in them moments, you know. So Irabunum, who had been near perfect for about 75 minutes, started looking leggy, misplacing passes that he'd been making. Luke getting caught, you know, loves a little drop of the shoulder, was then getting caught a bit. Seamus Coleman trying to clear a ball, it's at about 6 foot. Those things started creeping into the game. And at that moment, it wasn't like a massive worry, but there was a little sea change. Bournemouth made 5 changes. He changed half the team, Areola, and he's come out and said, we looked at what we needed to do. But Coleman was getting tired and tireder as it went on, so we put Uvatara and Sinisterra on Seamus, 2 very quick players who were direct on a tiring fullback. The middle of the park, Irabunum was gone after 18 minutes, gone. You know, he's in there with Idrissa Gana Gueye, who's 35 in a few weeks. Still good, had the good games everywhere, but those two, the legs, all of a sudden, the freshness in there wasn't. And we were calling out for James Garner to be put on. He's just played 60 odd minutes in midweek. He can come and do 15 minutes for us, sat in the number 6, just kill the game. And people start to get a little bit anxious. It wasn't like these are coming back into it, but the mood was just a little bit of like, oh, we just got to be a little bit careful here, because we are giving the ball away a bit more than we have been, because we took it off them a few times and it hadn't quite come off. And then the number went up and it was Illiman and Ndiaye. And it was like, hang on, what's happening here? Because I was thinking, I'll be honest, I thought there was 2 subs he'd make. I thought Calvert-Lewin will come off. The scene, you know, when you see the top coming off, I was thinking, could be better for Dom, just because he's done that sub lately. And then I thought, if it isn't him, it's got to be obviously James Garner, because Irabunum looked done. And then I seen it was Decore, and I was thinking, well, maybe he's going to take Irabunum off and put Decore there, because Dwight McNeil was doing okay off the 10, off the strike, and he kept the ball. He wasn't giving it away the way Decore does. And when it was Ndiaye, it was like, people were like, what? He's the one who's carrying us forward, keeping the ball. And I was so shocked he took him off, then got McNeil and put him on the left, and then put Decore behind Dom. It just was like, why are you changing the team?
It changed the makeup of the team, didn't it? They were simulation substitutions. They weren't substitutions that were made in reaction to what's happening in the game. They were substitutions that changed the way we set up. We were in control of the game. Yeah, we were getting a little bit more sloppy, like you say, but it still only had 1 shot on target. We didn't have to change our entire system. We just had to, if substitutions had to be made, bring on players who allow you to do the thing you've been doing, because you're controlling the game, you're under no pressure. Instead he goes, I need to change me forward, so I'll bring on my next 2 forwards who'd be starting if there was injuries, which is better when Decore. When it needed James Garner for Irabunum, because the game was starting to pass him by a little bit, because he's a young lad who's played in every game this season, and he was getting tired. That's it. He wasn't playing poorly, his legs were just starting to go, and that's fine. Seamus, right back from injury, played the other day, played for over an hour the other day. bring Ashley Young on. I know it's not exciting, but fresher legs come on and you're doubling up on him, like you say. So you just need to take care of that position there. And if Ndiaye has to come off, which I don't think he had to, but if the manager knows something we don't, and he'd expressed tiredness or whatever, bring on Lindstrom, who is more similar in terms of his game style than Decore is, because we can still have that link between our attack and three behind the striker. He'll win you a couple of soft fouls, and he'll try and take his man on where possible, but not when it's a massive risk, because he's an intelligent player. You're just moving to cover what they're doing. You don't have to change the entire makeup of what your setup is. It's not like we've been under pressure for ages and they've been lobbing balls in the box. Pressure. So it's right, we're going to bring Jake O'Brien on to help us shore up. We were defending the lead by not needing to defend because we had control of it, and he changed that. He brought on two players who are the last two players you'd bring on if you're trying to maintain a level of composure. They have the qualities, absolutely, and Decore is a good box crasher. Beto's unpredictable and strong and fast and wants to carry the ball. But you just need that composure and experience on the pitch of players who know, we've got this in the bag. These haven't really threw all that much at us. Let's just keep going and let's keep the sting out of the game. And he didn't do that.
Yeah, it was the Coleman one again. It was the two subs for me were Bournemouth and Coleman. Take them off, go like for like on them, and just see what's what. And like you said, if Ndiaye then over the next 5 or 6 minutes tires or looks like he's done, take him off. Don't change the whole structure of the team. Take him off, put Lindstrom there or whatever it may be. See it out. But when he changed that, we just lost that element of control. We then... But let's talk about Ndiaye, because he was the, before we do the rest of the game, he was someone who, I give him man of the match in my aftermatch thing. I've looked at it. He wasn't Everton's best player statistically, and I've looked at it because Jack Harrison was there. But he was a hugely impactful player on Saturday. He made them have to worry about him, and they then started putting two players on him, which freed up other players. So therefore, it gave Everton that control, because he was running at the goal, like you said before. It freed up people in other areas because the worry was him. So it wasn't like he created 8 big chances and scored 2 and set it, but he was just a real driving force for Everton's attacks, which meant we were able to sustain attacks. He had 12 ball recoveries, which is a lot. But let's have a look at his basic numbers from the weekend. Here we go, there's his heat map there, off over on the left-hand side. You can see 43 touches of the ball. He had a 77% passing accuracy. Goals, none. Assists, none. Tackles, 5, which showed you how important he was in a defensive aspect as well. 5 tackles, 12 ball recoveries, those kind of things. I think he won around half of his duels overall. And he was really impactful for us, and certainly excited the fans every time he got the ball.
Yeah, he did, and you know what? I'm glad he had those 5 tackles on his resume, because it gives the manager no excuse to take him out the team, regardless of who we play now, unless he starts performing much worse, because he's just shown he'll do the defensive side and get stuck in and do the nuts and bolts or whatever it is the manager likes to say. But yeah, I mean, no goals, no assists, but watching the game, you see his impact, especially on the second goal as well. He plays a massive part in that. And you're right, more than anything, he just got the fans out of the seats. Who was the last player we had who was that? It's
been
for
a while.
Us? It's been, James Rodriguez, we weren't even there to be in our seats when he was there. So it has been a while. And look, I'm sure there might be games with him where, maybe he's not always going to come up in concrete numbers in goals and assists like he didn't at the weekend. But if he carries on playing like this, he'll always give us that ability to play a different style of football and just be slightly more advanced than we have been the last couple of weeks, because he's good on the ball, his technique's solid, and he's always looking for a positive pass to advance the game and advance the play. It won't always work, but we don't have anyone else in this team who wants to play that way and whose main goal when he receives the ball is, okay, how do I advance this team? How do I get up the pitch with the ball? How do we get up to the other end of the pitch? So, yeah, he played well. I'm really happy for him, and he was the sole positive of the weekend.
Yeah, it felt like a strange substitution, and one which the fans didn't really seem to understand either at that moment. But it was 2-0 there when he come off. He come off and he pushed Dwight McNeil out to the left, and he looked knackered as well, to be honest. So I don't know why he was thinking he was going to be able to run up and down when he looked out on his feet. If you're going to leave Dwight on for any set pieces or whatever, just leave him where he was, because he was fine in that position off the striker. He put Decore on, like we've said. He pushed McNeil out to the left, and it lost us that little bit of rhythm. But we still go and give a really cheap goal away down the left-hand side, and it should be cut out before it gets over to the left. Seamus Coleman's got to stop the cross. He's too far away from the cross. It goes right, Tarkovsky doesn't react to it either. And Mikalenko's got no clue that Semenyo's behind him. And therefore it's past him, and he doesn't sort of react till it's in the net. Nothing Pickford can do. The ball's 2 or 3 yards from his goal line when it's tapped in. And it was just a basic goal that Everton should have been able to deal with and didn't.
Yeah, a frustrating goal to concede as well. And I think Mikalenko was the big one for me, to be honest, because he looked absolutely perplexed by the presence of Semenyo coming up the other side of him. So, well, that's his game, isn't he? He's wide forward, but he's stocky. He wants to get in the box and make those runs across and get on the ends of crosses at the back post. And that's the basics of his game, and Mikalenko should have been alert to that. So that was the very frustrating part of it for me. But you concede the goal, but you're thinking, come on, like, these have had nothing all game, and now it's Everton, and I know it'd be perfect, and that it'd be classic Everton. But come on, for once, let's just see a game out, and okay, now is the time where maybe you do reshape things, and maybe you bring a defender on. Jake O'Brien can come on and just help us shore up a little bit. And I wouldn't change my striker after conceding that goal. That's the one thing I wouldn't do.
Yeah, it was a bit weird, because he had Beto ready to come on at 2-0, and they scored. And I've seen so many times managers sit the sub back down when they concede and just let everyone clear their heads a little bit. But he didn't. The ball went in. It was almost like, no, I've promised him, I'm bringing him on, so he's coming on regardless. And he took Dominic Calvert-Lewin off, who'd had a good game. Didn't look like he was not. I don't think he was tired. He didn't look like he wanted to come off, but he took him off, and he put Beto on. And so now we've got 2 lads who are good squad players. Beto's chaotic and arms and elbows and that, and he will get goals. But you've took off someone who holds the ball up really well.
Well, he's not receive the ball into his feet with his back to goal and hold up play, and he would try and win a foul or spray it down the wing, and we could take it down there into all that space. And then, we've took 30 seconds off the clock in a simple move. He's not that type of striker, is he? And yeah, I'm sure the manager probably did say to him, look, we'll get you on at the weekend. Either, if Dom scores, we'll make sure you get the last 5-10 minutes or whatever. But if you've just conceded, you go, sorry, unlucky son. Just conceded, sit yourself back down. This isn't the change you need to make right now. And I don't know why he persisted with it, and I don't think it's necessarily that substitution in itself that cost us the next 2 goals. But it wasn't the substitution to make.
Well, we then had Decore and Beto, who aren't great at keeping hold of the ball for you. We then had them 2 as the 2 focal points instead of McNeil and Calvert-Lewin, who, have been better as a 2. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, obviously lots of talk. He may well leave on Friday. Chelsea was sniffing around and it didn't happen. The window slammed shut with Dom still at the club. But let's have a look at his numbers at the weekend, because he did get himself on the score sheet. 36 touches, he had a passing accuracy of 65%, 1 goal, 1 assist and 1 tackle. You can see him there, his heat map in and around the penalty spot, and also dropping off into the flank. He had a really good game. I thought Calvert-Lewin as, centre forward, led the line well. Still don't create enough chances for him, but it was good to see him get off the mark. Scored the 2nd goal, made the 1st goal. And that's what your job as a striker is to do.
Yeah, definitely. And I'd said going into this game, I think Beto should start, because he deserved a chance in the team. And actually, Dom starts, and he proved me wrong there, because he did all the things you want your centre forward to do in a game like this. And he was a strong and reliable outlet for us, and he only really had the 1 solid chance, but he took it very well. Fair play to him. He led the line. Now you want him to lead the line every game. And okay, yeah, the service won't always be there for him, but he should always be willing to go up for every header and try and hold the ball up and sprint for every ball, even if it probably will go out, just to give them problems, just to give them something to think about. And he did all of that. And if he plays like that every week, then yeah, you know, see what he wants on a contract, but it has to be consistent.
Yeah, totally agree. So 2-1, and it was that feeling in the ground of, uh-oh, you know, don't let this slip now, at 2-1. Sort everything out, get the shape. We had a chance to make it 3-1. Jack Harrison who was very good at the weekend, done really well. Put it through to the Corey, and if Abdoulaye the Corey picks his head up, you'll realise he's on his own in the 6-yard box, and he's got Beto square, and he doesn't. It comes through, and he can't get it out of his feet quick enough, and just hits it across the goal. Not giving Beto a chance to go because he wasn't expecting it. Whereas if he just had a little glance as it's coming to him, he'd see that he's got time to stop it, either run towards the goal or draw Beto closer and give him a tap in.
And that's the lacking composure compared to Ndiaye, isn't it?
That was it, where, you know, we would have kept it in that second, and it went across and it got fired back across the goal, and Beto didn't react the second time. Maybe he should have done for that one, but that was it really. And I wondered then if the manager was going to put O'Brien on and just go 3, or take Coleman off and put Young, and he didn't. He left it, and there comes the second Bournemouth goal equaliser, and it's a poor goal to concede again. We don't get close to it. A long straight ball down the side, it isn't dealt with. Someone should go over and deal with it. They don't. It allows Bournemouth to just edge into our penalty area. We don't go out and close the cross quick enough. It stood up to the back post. Coleman doesn't have a clue, the lad's there, and it's bang 2-2. And the 2 points are gone, and it's back to just, you know, you're thinking, oh my God, how's this happened?
Yeah, and the defensive setup was really poor for the equalising goal, and I think it came through fear, and oh God, I hope we don't concede again. And because the entire back four, if you watch them, no one was with Cook, but they were all just moving ever so slowly towards the ball. No one knows whose man is whose, no one knows where they're meant to be. And they stop reacting to the game itself and start just reacting to fear and, no, we can't concede, oh God, we're going to concede, oh God, they're coming at us, rather than reacting to what they're actually doing and trying to keep a bit of composure and just dig in for 5 minutes and see out the win that you've worked so hard for. There was none of that. The pressure absolutely got to them here, and this is where people might say, come on, it wasn't the manager, it was the players. It was very much both, but this is where you can criticise the players, because there was no character on display there. No. Because not one of them felt brave in that situation. Not one of them was confident that we could see this result out.
Yeah, you know, we had big players on the pitch. We had Tarkowski, Coleman, Pickford, even Michael Keane played a lot of football. Michalenko's an international. They should have grabbed each other at 2-1 and said, we stay tight, we don't allow them runners. Why is Michalenko so far up the pitch? Things like that. It's just basic stuff. The manager, he did throw the players under the bus after the game. He takes his part in it because his substitutions were atrocious, and he's upset the whole balance of the side. But the players are playing the game as well, and they have to take responsibility for that. If your fullback's bombing on, you don't want him to. You have to you either have a word with them and get him off then if he's not listening to you. Or is there an indication something's bigger that they don't listen to the manager? Because you can't sit in a press conference afterwards and go, our fullback's bombing on overlaps at 2-1.
Yeah, well, whose job is it to manage
He's on your side as well. Yeah. He's not the right back and he's on the other side of it. He's on your side. Get him to stay. Scream at him to get back. You can't, it's easy, I think, sometimes to throw that out, but the players have got to take responsibility as well. They can't go, oh, well, they had to deal with it. It was really bad defending and it was 2-2. He then could have put Jake O'Brien on and gone, we do not lose this. And a couple of minutes later, Jordan Pickford's made 3 saves. 2 really good saves. 1 was a block. And you're going, we are going to lose this game. It's ridiculous, but we are going to lose this game.
Yeah, when Pickford made those saves, personally, I was thinking, thank God he made those saves, because it would have been really embarrassing to lose this from where we were. Thinking, come on, hopefully, if they haven't woken up already, they'll wake up now, because your goalie's just had to make 3 saves in succession. And surely you go now, come on, let's keep this tight now. Like, I know it's not the win we wanted, but, we've still got a point, and it'll be incredibly embarrassing if we lose this now. So even if it's far too late, let's switch on now and see this out.
And we didn't. And, I mean, there couldn't have been less surprise in the ground when Bournemouth won it. You know, ball, again, Seamus doesn't get out quick enough to stop the cross, but Michael Keane, no clue who's behind him whatsoever. We can see it here. We've got the stills from it here. And it's picked up. I think it's Clivert, I think, who puts it in. He's got so, you know, Coleman's too far away there. He's got to get out to him quicker. But he was knackered. You know, he was absolutely knackered. The next one, he fades back in. And there's runners you can see, you know, Everton. There is people moving in behind. There we go again. The next one, he just throws that ball in. And you can see the space behind Michael Keane. He's got no clue anyone's behind him. We go on again. It's over to the back stick. And there you go. It's ended up past Jordan Pickford in the net. And we should have learned, because a minute earlier, that same ball had gone in and Pickford saved it from close range. With the header, he blocked it. It was the same as the winner. You knew, you could feel it was coming. Even at 2-1, the manager had turned around and said, I could smell something wasn't right. Well, it's your job as the manager to change it then, to react. We knew in the ground it was slipping away from us, and we can't react. But you can. When you're the person who can physically change what you're seeing, and you don't, you have to take responsibility for that. And he's gone full Sam Allardyce there and thrown the players, you know. He didn't do what I told him and he lost the game, you know. And I don't think that ends well for managers normally. The fans 1 week, the players the next. It's not good. And Everton have to get that back together. The manager's got to drag everyone together, because we cannot concede 10 goals in 3 games. So basic. The goals we've conceded so far, 1, maybe 2 have been decent goals. The rest have been bad defending.
No, there's not been that many that you can look at and go, you know what, there was nothing we could do there. Their quality is absolutely shown through. In this game, and especially the last 2 goals, it comes down to your tactics and it comes down to the character of the players. From when that ball went in for the 3rd goal, not a single one of them wanted to deal with that.
No.
They were all hoping, I hope this lands on someone else so they have to do it, because I don't feel composed enough to deal with this. And if one of them had got up to meet the ball and try and get it away with a header, it would have been with 0 conviction, because the legs had gone on all of them. Not in terms of tiredness, but mentally. They were all flapping it.
Yeah, well, it was so frustrating, but again, so unsurprising. Like, you've just been kicked so many times that you just sort of go, yeah, I'm not really surprised that we've lost that game. Obviously we were cruising at 2-0, absolutely cruising, and then it's 3-2 and you've lost the game. And you know, hearing his press conference was massive red flags everywhere in that press conference.
He spoke about it like a man watching a car crash from the other side of the motorway, didn't he?
And he had nothing to do with it, yeah.
Yeah, like it was, someone should have done something about that. There's the complete lack of accountability. He looked like he had 0 answers, which is the worrying thing going forward, because he looks like he has no idea how to fix that.
Scary. It was scary. One person who I thought did play really well was Jack Harrison. Let's have a look at his basic numbers there as well. He had 56 touches of the ball, 89% passing accuracy. He had 2 shots, created 5 chances, and put himself about with the tackles as well. I think he had 7 or 8 ball recoveries as well. You can see him up and down that right-hand side. Played really well, looked confident. You know, 5 chances created, more than anyone on the pitch. Did well, and you know, again, you'd like to see him put the ball in the back of the net, or you know, get himself assists, but he was a positive on a day when, let's be honest, for 85 minutes it was positive. They were at them, but.
And Jack Harrison was a big part of that. I thought it was one of his better games in Everton shirt, and he looked dangerous. He was making chances, and he looked switched on. And whether that's, you know, just he felt good on the day, or it's again a benefit of having Ndiaye on the pitch as well. It does really link that from 3 behind the striker together. Maybe he's been needing a player like that alongside him to, you know, to link with and play the quick passes with in the 1-2s. But yeah, hopefully he keeps it up, because it was a strong performance from him, and I think we've missed that from him for the last few months, really.
Yeah, I think with Jack Harrison is you know what you're getting off him. He's a hard-working lad. I think he wants to do really well for Everton. Gives everything. Sometimes it comes off, and other times it doesn't. And I want to see him put the ball in the net and create goals. That's what you want from him. I'm sure Sean Dyche wants that as well. But he had a good game at the weekend, like we said. Let's have a look at the overall match stats from Saturday. Everton 2, Bournemouth 3. 18 shots to Everton, 17 for Bournemouth. 8 on target for the Blues, 7 for the Cherries. XG of 1.97 versus 2.22. And 47% to 53. What's mad is the majority of those shots happened in the last 7 minutes. Certainly the on target ones. I mean, he got 3 goals. There's 3, and Pickford made them 3 saves in about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And there's the 6 extra ones on target, all within that. So it was they did really at the end. But listen, Bournemouth for me were dreadful for most of the game. But fair play to Iriola. Changed, they put the subs on. And even at like 82, 83 minutes, they looked like they wanted to be anywhere else than Goodison Park. They looked like they were just going, just get this game over and done with, please. I want to get off the pitch. But when they smelt the little drop of blood in the water, they went after it, and fair play to them. They really went for it. I don't think we'd have done the same.
No.
We might have ended up getting beat 2-1 on a hard luck story, or certainly if we'd have gone 2-2, we wouldn't have gone searching the winner. We'd have been trying to grab a point. Fair play to them. They went after us, and, brilliant result for them in the end.
No, credit to them, because while we obviously opened the door for them, because we did properly stink the gaff out, they show now you can respond to that and how to go for it and to have the bulk of their chances in a 10-minute period. Not every team has that sort of mentality, and not every team would keep going for it and grab the extra 2 points at the end. So fair play to them, but I just can't look past how we very much shot ourselves in the foot in this game, and it wasn't on the cards. It's a problem completely of our own making, and it's worrying, to be honest. It's worrying that they're capable of such a meltdown, and I hope it's the last time we see it, but I know it won't be.
What a lovely way to finish, Jack Mando. There you go. I mean, there's not really much more to say, is there? I mean, we've lost the game. We snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. It was nearly a really good afternoon at Goodison Park. 5 wins since December the 16th, and it's September the 2nd. Is a terrifying stat, and 3 of them were in 6 days in April, which is even more scary. So this team needs to, and the manager needs to remember how to win. Remember, he once used that phrase. They need to remember how to win games of football, and we've got another hugely tough game when we come back after the break, which is Villa away. And right now, I can't see anything other than another Everton defeat, and that to open the season with 4 straight defeats is abysmal. It's abysmal. It can happen once in a blue moon, but it's becoming a regularity for us, so it's no good. They've got to get their heads together in this international break, come up with something. And hopefully we'll have a few more players fit after this break to get, players back. I don't think Branthwaite will be back for Villa. I think the more likely game for him is Leicester the week after.
Only would bought a centre-back in the summer.
Yeah.
If only.
Who knows? And obviously Armando Broja, who's injured at the moment, will be a little bit closer to a return, but won't be ready then, of course. But there you go. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. What do you put it down to? Was it the manager's tactics? There is some people out there who don't blame the manager, they blame the players. Fair enough. Players do play the game. So let us know what you think in the comment section. We'll make sure you like, subscribe to the channel as we move towards that 100,000. That's our aim. If you want to become a Toffee TV Premier member, where you're watching this live right now, and we're going to carry on, the link is in the description, QR code on the screen now. See you later.